Elaine here. Today it's all about lemons. I love lemons. Any kind of dessert that you can give me with lemons, mint with lemon, limoncello. I just love lemons. So today what we're going to do is my favorite dessert in the whole world is lemon meringue pie. That's lemon meringue pie. So I've already rolled out the pie crust into the pie plate. But I just wanted to show you a couple of things. With lemon meringue pie, you need to have a more sturdy crust that won't shrink in because we have to pre-bake this pie crust before we put in the fillings. So what I've done is I've done the pie, and then I've taken the extra dough that I've had, pie crust, and I put it on just to make it a more sturdy. So what I'm going to do now is cut off the excess. Or you could just even fold it under too. That doesn't matter either. That would be nice also. So just fold it under, incorporate it all in. And I've had this in the fridge for a while. If you're doing this at home now and you're about to bake it, I would recommend putting it into the fridge just to let it cool down a little bit. It'll bake better that way. I have the oven on at 400 degrees Fahrenheit. So it's ready to go. Now everybody does their own different way for pinching the sides. I never get it right, so I'm going to do this, and that's fine. Some people use a thumb and go like that, but never works for me. But whatever you feel like, just do it. It'll be fine. Some parchment paper at the bottom, like that. And these are beans. You can buy pie weights, but you don't need to do it. Just get some beans, and we'll put them in. And now we're going to put it into the oven for about 15 minutes until the corners start to brown. The pie crust has been in the oven for about 15-20 minutes. So now what we're going to do is carefully take out parchment paper and the beans. And what we're going to do now is poke some holes into the crust bottom, and we're going to put this back in the oven. See, it doesn't look pretty, so keep that in mind. It doesn't matter. No one will see the final results, what it looks like on the bottom. But anyway, so we're going to put this back in the oven for another 8 minutes. We don't want to fully cook the crust because we're going to be putting the lemon curd inside here, and we'll finish baking it with the lemon meringue. So I'll be back in a bit and I'll show you how to do the filling. Crust is out of the oven. It's not beautiful, but it doesn't matter. Once we fill it with the lemon curd and the meringue, no one will know any better except for you and me. Don't tell anyone. We're going to make the lemon curd. In the lemon curd, we have 5 egg yolks and 5 of the egg whites, which will be our meringue. So we're going to split them. And along with that, we have 1 1/3 cup of water, a 1/3 of a cup of cornstarch, 1 cup of sugar, 1 cup of lemon juice. Remember, we also need a tablespoon of zest. Remember to zest it before you juice the lemon, because it's kind of hard to zest a lemon that's already been juiced. But anyway, so this is about 1 large lemon. And then I have 2 tablespoons of butter and a quarter teaspoon of salt. Ooh, spilled some. I'm not using salt this time because I'm using salted butter. So just so you know, that's happening there. So what we're going to do now is we're going to separate the eggs. The most important part when you're making this is have them room temperature. It's way better to whip the meringue by. If they're cold, it doesn't whip very well. And another thing about the meringue, make sure your bowl is clean, and you can't have anything in that egg whites. No eggshells, anything that's dirty in there will not let your meringue rise. So be careful there. So there's 1. The lemon curd is kind of finicky, but just be patient and it'll be all great. So we're gonna have a pot. We're gonna have it over medium-low heat. So we'll put in all the water, the 1 1/4 cup of water. I already had it heating up there. 1/3 cup of cornstarch. 1 cup of sugar. And 1 cup of lemon juice. So what we're going to do, oops, sorry. So what we're going to do now is go to the stove and have it on medium-low heat. And we're going to stir it until it comes up to a boil. I'll be back when it's just at the spot and I'll show you what it looks like. So right now you can see the consistency. It's pretty nice. So what's going to happen now is we have to incorporate the eggs in there. So what we want to do is just put a little bit at a time into the eggs. Just pour a little bit of the hot batter into the eggs. And this is tempering. And that way you'll be assured that you won't have scrambled eggs. So we're going to do a few more of these. So I think we're good now. So what's going to happen now is that we're going to pour all this into the main mixture. So here we go. So I turned on the heat, so now I'm going to put the heat back up, medium-low, and we're going to wait till it turns to a boil. It won't take long. Okay, here it's starting to boil. So I'm going to throw in the butter now, so you can see the bubbles. That's good. So now we're going to throw in the butter. I'm going to turn off the heat now. And I'm just going to reach over for the zest. Stir that in, and that's all there is to that. So it's quite simple. I'm going to pour this into the pie shell as soon as the butter melts. And then we'll do the meringue. There we go. In here, I have 5 egg whites that I showed before. So we're going to beat these up. I'm supposed to use cream of tartar, but I don't have any. So cream of tartar is like an acid. So the best alternative if you don't have cream of tartar is 1/2 teaspoon of lemon juice per every egg that you use. So here, and we're going to beat this. It's going to be noisy now for a bit. Starts coming up to a little bit of a peak is when you're going to put your sugar in. In the sugar, I put 1/8 teaspoon of salt. So these look great. I'm going to get the pie now, which is right behind me, and we're going to pour all this beautiful meringue into the pie. I had reduced the oven down to 350, and it's very important for them to touch the sides, or else it'll just shrink away when it's baking. And they'll look kind of weird if that happens. So make sure that all the sides are touching. And what you do to make it look really pretty, so when it's baking in the oven, because it's going to be in there just for a few minutes so that all the meringue browns, is make little peaky things like this, or whatever you want to do. But I think it's nice if you get some height in there. So now I'm going to put it into the oven. Remember to keep a close watch, because it doesn't take long for it to brown. So as soon as the meringue has browned, it's done. And now it's time to see our creation. Look at that. It's absolutely beautiful. So now you have to let it cool on a rack for an hour at room temperature. After it's been out at room temperature, you have to put it in the fridge for 4 hours, let it set. Don't cut into it now, it'll just be a big mess. So wait, be patient, it'll be worth the waste. And thanks for watching. Love you all, miss you all, and stay safe. Love you. Bye.